Welcome to Roger Frederick's Golf Flexibility, a revolutionary new exercise program developed by renowned golf coach Roger Fredericks. Follow this program, and within days you'll notice dramatic improvements and start hitting shots with greater consistency and power. Roger Fredericks has worked with thousands of golfers, from beginners to some of the greatest names in the sport. After closely studying the swing mechanics of some of golf's greatest players, Roger discovered a fundamental secret they all share, and that is an enormous amount of flexibility in the key muscle groups that affect their swings. In fact, tour professionals on average have 50 to 100% more flexibility in their upper trunks and nearly 67% faster hip speed through the ball than the average golfer. In this program, we'll show you how to dramatically increase your flexibility and range of motion. Soon you'll be able to hit the ball longer, straighter, with more power and consistency, while also helping avoid injury and aiding recovery from previous injuries.
Roger's stretching program helped me immensely, and it'll help you too.
I've regained much of the flexibility that I've had in my youth.
Roger Fredericks is a wonderful golf teacher and has an innate ability to combine conditioning, strength, and cardiovascular and how it relates to golf.
I was able to loosen up my hips, which basically dissolved all the back pain.
Roger taught me that just because you get older doesn't mean you have to lose your flexibility.
Using Roger's flexibility program has helped me become one of the longest hitters in the world.
The best lesson I ever had is Roger's flexibility program.
I've been able to hit the ball 15 yards further. I can move freely. I've avoided injury. And the most exciting thing about it is I've only scratched the surface.
But people put more money into their cars, their automobiles, than they do into their bodies. Take a tip from Roger. Listen to him. Here's an expert on improving your game quickly.
Work steadily at your own pace through the program, and you'll be hitting the ball with more power than you ever dreamed possible.
I'd like to take a moment and explain exactly how the muscles work in your body. Well, number one, we have hundreds of muscles throughout our body, and each muscle has an opposite muscle that it works with. For example, in our upper arm, we have the biceps and the triceps. When the biceps contract or get closer together, the triceps lengthen or expand, and vice versa. Well, down here in our body, we have the front calves, the quadriceps, the hip flexors, the abdominals, and the upper chest. They work closely with the back of the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back muscles, and the upper back. Well, in the golf swing, the upper body weight starts to rotate and shift over to the right side. Right about here, that's when the hip engages. These quadricep muscles really start to take a beating because there's a lot of force being placed upon them. Well, while this is happening, the hamstrings and glutes are forced to relax and expand. The hip flexor now is kind of maintaining and stabilizing this entire process. It takes a moment to unwind, and now the reverse process happens on the front side. Now, if we find a person, for example, who has weak quadriceps or tight hamstrings, we will usually see one of three things. We'll see something like this, a straightening of the leg. Sometimes with people who are overly tight or strong, built up in their quadriceps, we'll see something like this. Or we'll see people who don't have very much rotation do something like this. That is why keeping your body functional will absolutely guarantee that you'll have a more solid golf swing. Hi, I'm Roger Fredericks, and at age 52, I'm more flexible now than I've ever been in my life. I've spent the last 20 years of my life helping thousands of golfers reach their true potential by maximizing their flexibility. Now it's your turn. It's very important that we stretch all the major muscle groups in our body, and as we do each muscle group, we must concentrate on our breathing. Not only will I show you how to do each stretch, but I will help you build your best golf swing. First, I'd like to introduce our workout partners. Susan Pankow uses this program every day to balance every muscle group in her body. Tommy Kim uses the program to create awesome hip turning speed, creating incredible power. Tommy Jacobs continues to play top-notch competitive golf as a super senior because he knows how fundamentally important flexibility is. Remember, the most important club in the bag is you. Now, let's get started. Our first stretch is going to be our overhead extension. Clasp your hands, push your palms up to the sky, stretching your arms, and breathe. nice full deep breaths. Lock those knees, keep the weight forward out in the balls of the feet. Then start to look up, pressing your hands up to the ceiling. In this program, we're going to keep our mouths closed, breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Okay, now we're going to bend forward from the waist, keeping the weight forward out in the balls of the feet. Don't let your weight go back on your heels. Keep your arms up, look at your hands, and keep breathing. Notice how I'm getting a concave in my back. Now we're going to release all the way down, keeping the knees tight. If you have very severe tightness in your back or back problems, don't go down this far. Just stay up where TJ is. And again, keep breathing. Benefit here is to really get some oxygen into your body, get relaxation so your body can make a free, easy flowing swing. As you inhale and exhale, you'll notice you can go down even a little bit further. Okay, now from here, stay in this position, weight out in the balls of the feet, clasp your elbows, and a big inhale all the way up, and the big exhale out. Now let's loosen up those shoulder joints with some arm circles. First, let's make a fist, jut your knuckles out. We call this the golfer's grip. Okay, we're going to jut our knuckles out there, our thumbs are straight up. Put your hands and arms to your side, bring your arms up, and let's go down, back, and forward, making tight little concentric circles. Make your shoulders, put them back, make them proud, so to speak, and keep breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Great benefit to warm up for golf because we want to get those shoulders nice and loose to allow the nice fluid arm swing and shoulder turn that we're going to be putting on them. We'd like to do maybe 20, 30, or 40 of these going each way. Again, keep breathing. Now, some of you may notice that your right arm is probably going to come out this way. That's going to tell you that you have a tight right hip and right shoulder problem. Okay, always make sure you're going to bring that right shoulder back in line. After a number of these, now we're going to stop, put our palms up so the thumbs are back. Now we're going to go forward and back and reversing the direction. Again, in through the nose, out through the nose. Arm circles. Okay, after a number of these, we're going to stop, bring our arms down, give them a rest. You'll be amazed. Some people will find these are very difficult to do when your arms start getting heavy. Now, let's work some elbow curls. Same golfer's grip, fist, knuckles out, thumbs up. We're going to put our fingertips up on our temples, stand at attention, lock the knees, and bring the elbows in, and then inhale all the way back. Always remember, whenever you expand the chest, that's when you want to inhale and exhale. Great stretch for stretching the pecs and the chest like I am right here, and also contracting the rhomboids. We want freedom of the chest expansion in the golf swing. Elbow curls, again, will help work the shoulders and the rotator cuff group. I always like to do about half as many elbow curls as I do arm circles. Let's get into our 4-socket position here, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and we're simply going to look up at the ceiling, inhaling. This is the happy dog. And then arch yourself way up, exhaling like the scared cat. Really stretch out that thoracic. We're going to come up, inhaling, and exhale down. The first couple, I suggest you go pretty slow. But then after you get into the groove of it, then you can speed it up a little bit. Really stretch it out. Okay, now it's ready for the downward dog pose. We're going to curl our toes under and simply pike yourself up, straightening those knees. Keep the knees straight. Try to get the heels down on the ground. Get your tailbone way up in the air, pressing into the ground with your forefinger and thumb. And don't forget to breathe. This is a great all-around pose, and it's a great benefit for the golf swing because we're stretching calves, hamstrings, glutes, lower back, shoulders, arms. We're stretching everything there. Multiple groups we're stretching and allowing the oxygen to hit all those major key areas. Great for stability of your trunk, great for your shoulders. One more good deep breath. Now it's time for the psoas stretch again to really stretch out that hip flexor. As you can see, Tommy and I are doing it one way, and TJ and Susan are doing it an alternative way. Either way is acceptable. Coming down here on the floor, though, will give you some more resistance in that hip. What we're going to do is start with the left and place that foot approximately 1 foot in front of the knee, and we're going to take that knee and move it forward, breathing. You got to breathe in this, in through the nose, out through the nose. Great benefit, like I said, about the golf swing. When we keep these hips nice and functional so they allow that pelvis to rotate, we can develop maximum stability and maximum power. Pushing down, you can really feel that stretching. I recommend for a lot of people, if you're real tight in your hip area, to do this even 3 times a day. This one stretch will give you just maximum benefits here. Okay, one more good deep breath. Okay, let's recoil. Now do the other side. Left knee's back. I'm going to take my right foot, bring that forward. I want my joints in alignment the way nature designed them. Foot, knee, hip, and shoulder, and we're going to sink into it and stretch. The benefit, especially on this side now, will help your hip rotation through the ball. We want to see those cheeks that impact from the rear angle camera. Great hip rotation and explosive power. If that pelvis is not in position, if it's not loaded, as they say, then you absolutely cannot unload. This stretch will just reap maximum benefits for you. One last good deep breath. And back up. We're going to work the inner thighs now as well as the pelvis and the lower back by working a spread foot forward bend. We're going to get our feet nice and wide. Lock those knees, lock those legs, put your hands on your hips, and slowly, and I mean slowly, come over and start to breathe. You want to get your hands down, if you can, ideally, your fingertips in line with your toes. Now you notice that TJ behind me has a block to use. Perfectly acceptable. Okay, the benefit for this pose in your golf swing is multi, and that is you want to use the legs, let them rotate freely through the shot. Freedom of the hips, and allow that left leg to separate on the downswing. Keep breathing. Now we're going to move over to our left foot. TJ can swing the block over there, and our goal here is to get our nose or our forehead down on the knee. Keep the legs tight. Don't try to be a hero and see how far down you go at the sacrifice or expense of locking your knees. Breathing will get you there. Come on back to center, and now over to the right. Grab your foot or your ankle, whatever you can grab. TJ will swing the block over and try to get your forehead down to the knee. Now, we're going to come back to center. Just rest there for a minute, and slowly put your hands on your hips and inhale all the way up, and exhale. Now, we're going to add a variation to this and get our shoulders into the act. Let's clasp our hands behind our head, extend those arms, start breathing, and slowly bend over again, extending our arms back and over. Keep breathing. Now we have our arms stretched out here too. Great stretch here for your arms during the golf motion. Slowly inhale all the way up. The runner stretch. I want you to come down, put your left foot forward, and bring your right knee flush up against your left heel. Now you notice that Tom, TJ, and Susan back there are using the chair. Perfectly fine. I recommend most people start there. From here, we're just going to pike up and lock those knees. The secret of this stretch is keeping the knees locked. We're going to obviously concentrate on our breathing. The benefit of this stretch in your golf swing is right there in stabilizing your pelvis and allowing the right hip to load in there. If the right hamstring, especially for a right-handed golfer, is tight, almost surely that right leg will straighten and the right hip will elevate. We want to keep our pelvis nice and flexed and keep the contraction into our legs. Keep breathing. Okay, now we're slowly going to come out of the stretch. Always come out of the stretch the way you got into it, and now reverse sides. We're going to put our right foot forward, bring our left knee flush up against our right heel, curl the back toe under, and just pike up. Lock those knees. Keep breathing. This is the right side now. For a right-handed golfer, we're going to load that right hip. This right knee's got to be locked, and you really feel that stretch up the hamstring there. And 5. Let's slowly come out and stand up. And that was the runner stretch. Here's another great stretch for our hamstrings and our lower back muscles. We call this the sitting wall. I want you to imagine that you're sitting against an invisible wall here, and to actually do it against a wall is preferable too. So we're going to get added tension, lock the knees. Now most of you won't be able to get your kneecaps, or the backs of your knees I should say, on the floor. That's okay, just do the best you can. And remember, our ultimate goal is to get our knees down. We're going to really get added tension, and you'll feel the stretch even more so by bringing the toes pointed back at you. Keep tight in your abdomen and concentrate on your breathing. For people with rounded shoulders, this can be very uncomfortable, but work through it, and in time, you'll be able to achieve maximum posture. Now slowly, if you can, start to move forward and just start going down your legs. Don't bounce. A lot of people like to bounce in this. Don't want to do that. Keep breathing. Put your hands out on your toes if you can. And 5. Slowly inhale all the way up. Good seated forward bend. Now we're going to go back into extension and work the opposite muscles that we just contracted. So we're going to come down here on our back, bring your knees up, hands and arms extended, and we are simply just going to raise up our hips, pushing up with our glutes, and breathing. Great stretch to stretch out the abdominals, great strengthening exercise for your glutes. Notice in all these poses, we're using one side of the body, then working the opposite side. And last breath, exhaling out, let's come down slowly. Now that we've really loosened up our lower body, let's get into some spinal twists. First, we're going to start with the crocodile. We're going to lie back, and we're going to start with our left side. So take your right heel, bring that over your left toes, and we're going to swing our bodies all the way around to our left side so our arms are extended and our hands meet as if in prayer. Now, keep the feet down there. Don't let your feet come up. If this is too hard for you to do, go ahead and put your feet underneath the sofa. Now, we're going to take our right hand, here we go, and start bringing it all the way back around over to the left, slowly letting that stretch out. We're going to be looking straight up towards the ceiling. Again, keep the feet down here. We're just going to breathe. The benefit for this is obviously a great shoulder turn in your golf swing, and this will really help some upper spinal twisting occur in your spine there. You'll notice that after you're down here for a while in the crocodile, that your right shoulder and your right upper back will start to flatten and enter into deeper levels of relaxation. This is good. That means that shoulder is starting to breathe and get some oxygen back into it. Okay, one more deep breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. Now we're going to take our right hand, beginning now, and bring it up and swing it all the way back over to the starting position. So our hands meet back again in prayer. Now we're going to take our right hand and pick it up and slowly swing everything back around to neutral. Letting your feet come up. Now we're going to take our right foot off and down on the floor. Now take your left heel, bring that up on top of your right toes. Now we're going to do the opposite on the right side. So we'll take your left hand and left arm, swing it all the way over. Again, your hands are meeting in prayer. Everything is extended. Now, keeping the feet on the ground, we'll pick up the left hand and swing this all the way over, back to the other side, looking straight up at the ceiling. Again, breathe. The benefit here is a much more freer shoulder turn and hip turn through the ball. You have to keep these shoulders pliable and flexible in the golf swing for maximum performance. And you'll notice if you're a right-hander, the majority of people are, that it's easier to get your left shoulder down. Okay? So you want to really stretch and work some of the rotation out of these shoulder areas and the spine areas. We'll stay down here for a little bit longer. Again, entering in those real deep levels of relaxation. Okay, now let's take our left hand and pick it up and swing it all the way back over so it meets our right again. And come back over to our side, let everything release, and sit up. Now, we're going to do a couple more cats and dogs. Whenever you do some spinal twist, you always want to get your spine moving in all directions and do a few more cats and dogs. Look up at the ceiling, inhaling, and look down, arching up. Up again, inhaling. We call this bringing our spine back to neutral since we torqued it so much going on side to side. Okay, very good. Now, a more advanced stretch that we're going to do is the pretzel. Again, great benefit here for the shoulder turn in your golf swing. Now, we're going to keep our legs straight out, toes back. Now, take your right foot and bring that over your left leg. Try to keep your right foot flat and try to keep this leg straight out. Don't let it go too much across there. So the right foot is flat. Now, take your right hand and put it behind you in your midline. With your left arm, straighten it up, bring it down against your right thigh, and twist as far behind you as you can. Remember, follow your gaze and breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. If you can't get your shoulders in line with that extended left leg, that means physiologically at this point, you won't be able to make a full shoulder turn and shouldn't try to. Even all the senior tour players that I've worked with are all able to get their shoulders in line with that leg by all the constant repetition they've done throughout a lifetime. Keep breathing. Try to get your spine at attention, nice and erect. Very good. Now let's slowly come back to the center here. Unfold our leg and our foot, bring it out there. Now take your left foot, bring that over your right leg. Try to keep it flat if you can. If you can only go down here, so be it. Doesn't matter, just do the best you can. Breathing here is the key. Put your left hand behind you in your midline. Take your right arm, extend it up, and now we're going to twist down. The right arm makes a bar, and look as far behind you to the left as you can. Probably easier for most of you to get to the turn more completed on this side. Great benefit. So we don't just want to make a shoulder turn going back. In the backswing, it's got to turn through too. We want to get both sides, increasing our range of motion. The more we can turn our shoulders away from the shot into the backswing, the more body mass will come into the ball, and that produces more distance. One more deep breath. Now let's slowly come out of that, come back to center. And what did we just do? Big spinal twist. What does that mean? A couple more cats and dogs, kind of get the torque out of those erector spinalis muscles and go up and down. First, we're going to get into the don't shoot, Sheriff, I give up. We're going to come back here. Tommy Kay and I are going to come down and get our chairs again, get our forearms down on the chairs, and just slowly let ourselves sink down into the chairs, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. If you notice that TJ and Susan are in a slightly different position above horizontal with their arms extended, going back into extension, breathing and slightly pressing back. Also, another great benefit is to do this stretch in the doorway. Great effective stretch that way. So we're giving you here some alternatives to do this. And now we're going to inhale all the way up. Come back up, and that feels awfully good. Simply grab a doorway or a hanging bar and just hang there for a little bit. Gives a great overall finishing touch to this great program. I strongly encourage you to do this program a minimum of 4 or 5 times a week. Remember, the most important club in the bag is you.
Congratulations! You just completed Roger Frederick's golf flexibility. You're on your way to releasing that power within and discovering that your body is your golf swing. Before you go, here's a top tip from Roger Fredericks.
One of the 3 major fault groups that I see with the vast majority of golfers is tending to keep their weight, that is, on the left side. In severe cases, I'll see people really slide that right hip out there, and when that happens, it causes the upper body to reverse or point over to the left. We always want this shaft, or our spine angle, to be pointing off over to the right side. The only way that can really happen is if our upper body weight rotates and shifts slightly into the right. And believe it or not, we see this quite a bit in tour players too, obviously not to that degree. And because I think tour players spend a lot of time playing out in the wind and, pretty much staying on top of the ball and trying to trap it, again, they will tend to stay on their left sides instead of letting the club move freely back into the ball of the right foot. I've developed a drill that I think is really paramount to curing this problem. And if I could find a tour player around here, oh, there's one now. It's my good friend Tommy Jacobs. Tommy, why don't you come on in here? Good to see you. All right, I have this bottle here, and I want you to stay away from the bottle for the most part. But I'm going to put this bottle right down here, right behind your ball. And I'd like you to go ahead and just take your normal swing and just swing the ball away and just see what happens. Well, that's not too bad. I think you have a future in this game. What did that feel like to you?
Oh, solid, but it really felt togetherness going back.
Yeah.
It really did. I just moved nicely into my right side.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the 3 benefits this drill can give you. 1, you can get the club going straight back on a straight path away from the target. Number 2, by pushing the bottle away, it allows the weight to flow into the right side. And 3, it really establishes a really nice rhythm and tempo starting your golf swing. So try this drill at home, and I think you'll get some really great results. Thank you, Tommy.